Welcome back, guys, to another episode of Decentralized Chain. It's Feroz bringing you all things blockchain. So today we are going to be talking about early investor networks. How do you get into the pre-sales, either to get into a successful project that does well in the long term, or also a successful project that does well out the gate as well? There's obviously two sides to every coin. Some people are in it for the tech, some people are in it to make a quick buck. But either way, you need to be able to identify those projects in order to be able to invest in them in the first place, with a bit of confidence that they're going to do well, not rug pull you or run off with your hard-earned money. So that's what today's topic is going to be about. And if that sounds good to you, then don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, and also don't forget to hit the bell notification icon so you don't miss any of my upcoming episodes. And as always, we are going to be giving away free crypto, $75 up for grabs. Make sure you watch the video all the way throughout, as I will be dropping the information in terms of how you can enter that competition and brag yourself some free crypto. Now, back onto the topic of pre-sale. So, in order to talk about pre-sale, we're going to be talking to Ian Friend, and if that name seems familiar to you, he is the co-founder of Ferrum Network, project that I reviewed almost well over a year ago, doing very well as a project, as a store of value, and interestingly enough, Ian is also co-founding the Foundry, which is an early investment group, but not just an investment group. It's more than that. It's also an advisory group. It's there to help incubate projects within the crypto space as well. So we're going to jump right in and speak to Ian and find out exactly what the Foundry is all about, and also find out what the latest is with Ferrum and how the two actually tie in together. So stay tuned. Let's jump in. So welcome to the show, Ian. I mean, to be honest, I don't think I've actually had you on before. I know we've spoken a lot. And I know when I covered Ferrum back in 2018, I think it was, and that's when I first came across the project and yourself and the rest of the team. But since then, I know that we've obviously spoken offline a fair bit, but I've never actually had a chance to bring you onto the show. So firstly, welcome to the show. Glad to have you here.
Thank you so much. Glad to be here. I know it's been a long time coming. Yes, you did a review of Ferrum back, 2018, whenever it was.
I know. And I mean,
good to finally be here.
No, definitely. And I mean, 2018, I mean, that wasn't the best time of the years either. I mean, if we kind of look at our market cycles. And I mean, to be honest, Ferrum, as a project, as a value as well, certainly it went all the way through 2018. And here we are in 2019. You guys are still here. We lost a lot of projects along the way, but I suppose it's a testament in terms of what you've actually built and delivered, I suppose, to date, right?
I would like to think so. I mean, we love what we're doing, so we never once thought, oh, it's got hard, so we'll quit. That's not in our DNA.
Yeah, no, exactly.
I actually think the challenge has made us stronger, right? We were able to build a entire ecosystem, get users, generate revenue, become a real business, dozens of clients, many products, all on an extremely sort of frugal budget. And that's because we were born in the bear market.
No. I mean, it's impressive in all honesty. And I think one of the things, because I was recently looking at Ferrum and I was sort of coming across various bits, and then I also noticed that, there was something like a spin-off almost coming off, which caught my eye, which was the Foundry. And I mean, it all sort of transpired from when I was sort of looking. I mean, when you look at the market today, everyone's looking for their next 100x, right? That's kind of that's the end goal from a retail investor's perspective. Is when do I get that Lamborghini, or at least own a wheel of a Lamborghini or something today, right? And I've been around the scenes for a good few years, maybe not as active over the last year, just naturally because I have my own stuff that I do outside of here, and some of the groups that I've been in, certainly from a Telegram perspective, when we're talking about Telegram's perspective, there are certain groups that allow you to, I suppose, get early investment into potential upcoming projects or not, and also allow you to sort of speculate in terms of what may happen or may not happen. And interestingly enough, I came across the Foundry, I came across your name as well, and I thought, hold on, what's Ian up to? Because I could have sworn he was with Ferrum Network, and now he's also founding something called the Foundry. So, what is the Foundry, Ian? I mean, I'm just curious. Well, I mean, there's a lot of buzz around it, and it's sort of being similarly linked. I mean, I've seen links to DuckDAO as well, and there are other communities similar to what I think the Foundry are doing. But I mean, why don't you tell me what's the Foundry about, Ian?
Yeah, so I haven't gone anywhere in terms of Ferrum. Don't worry. The Foundry is a partnership between Ferrum and DuckDAO.
Mm-hmm.
DuckDAO is what I refer to as a sort of a decentralized fundraising community,
Mm-hmm.
founded by Ken and Lucas, who are old school guys who have been in the space for a long time, been involved with many raises, really expert on that side of the business.
Mm-hmm.
And we felt it made a lot of sense to team up, combine their decentralized fundraising, their expertise on things like token metrics, pre-raise, hype generation and marketing, and then all the way to the launch, right? Uniswap listing, and then the first exchange. With combining those things with the Ferrum network suite of DeFi technology like staking, swaps, distribution tech that we've built, even our KYC solution that we have. And also there's other components too, right? Like, as someone who's built a business and a project through the bear market, having that founder's perspective, as an advisory component to what the Foundry offers, I think is actually invaluable for projects. And we take a long-term approach to the projects that we incubate. So we're really with them for a number of years, all the way from the pre-launch through scaling their products. And there's a number of other unique aspects to it. The influencer marketing model we've put in place, and the exchanges we have on board with us. So it's really an all-encompassing incubation initiative. And yeah, it's been received very well. We've just announced our first incubated projects called Bondly, which is an excellent project I'm excited to talk about. And yeah, it's been a whirlwind past few weeks since we announced, but really excited for all the buzz it's been getting.
So I mean, so let's talk a bit about Bondly actually, without going too much into, I would say, the specifics of Bondly, because ideally I'd love to get those guys on the show as well to kind of talk about their project. But let's focus on the Foundry, Bondly being your first incubated project, and there's also DuckDAO as part of this partnership as well. So what does it actually mean? I mean, I'm familiar with DuckDAO, and I know they have various tiers, and each tier kind of ultimately gives you a certain level of I'm gonna say additional, well, not additional allocation, but more of a secured allocation in terms of being able to invest in upcoming projects. And I'm suspecting that it's similar in terms of the Foundry, that there will be some sort of membership tiering in place, similar. So you kind of, to a certain extent, you want to weed out those who are, I would say, what I've come across is, because I've been in some of these types of Telegram groups before, and in the lower tiers you have a lot of noise. You kind of have people that kind of just want to make their gains, and what they read on Twitter and seen, and that dream of making it quick, getting rich quick. And then I've noticed that as you go up these tiers, you kind of get people who are a bit more clued up in terms of what they're looking for, in terms of what they're asking, in terms of what they're questioning. I think one of the groups that I'm in is Karma DAO currently, and I can see there's a certain level of intelligence, I'm going to say, to as you move further up. So I'm curious, what is it that Bondly are getting as being part of this incubation, and I'm more specifically looking at what is it that Ferrum's bringing to the table.
Got it. So in terms of the fundraising side, the model is more or less the same. In fact, the tiers on the DuckDAO side have remained unchanged. Okay. So it's still the same. You have to hold a certain amount of DuckDAO tokens, gets you access levels. The more you hold, the higher up you go, and it's basically what you just described. But the unique thing about the Foundry is that now you have the option of coming in on the Ferrum side as a Ferrum holder. So it's another utility we've added to the Ferrum token, of which there's, I think, 7 now. And if you hold a certain amount of Ferrum, which correspond to benefit tiers we already had in place for our holders based on the benefit system in the Unifier wallet. So it's those same tiers. In fact, we actually added a lower tier, as a matter of fact. So it's 100,000 Ferrum, 250 and did 750,000 Ferrum, and then we added a 50,000 Ferrum tier. It's the same concept as DuckDAO, fundamentally, access and higher allocations, et cetera. But to answer your question about what Ferrum brings to the table to Bondly in particular, I can't reveal everything because they're still rolling out tech integrations,
of course,
misinformation as they evolve. But certainly the staking element, in which we're building a brand new customized version of staking that can that Foundry projects, including Bondly, can avail themselves of. And there's a number of other tech that we'll be providing them, and I don't want to dive too deep into that yet because I'm not sure what we're announcing quite yet or not.
Yeah, of course.
But it's the tech, but it's also the advisory stuff. Like, so Brandon, the co-founder of Foundry, he's a close friend of mine from New York, from the crypto scene that I've known for a number of years. Really sharp guy, been in the space many years, and actually been working on this escrow business for now about 2.5, 3 years already. And so Bondly is despite the fact that it's just now raising and just now increasing its profile, has been around as sort of a business that they've been developing for a number of years. And that's what makes me really excited about the project. It's DeFi, right? It's all the things you expect from DeFi, but there's a real business behind it. And it's actually bridging the gap between the technology of DeFi and applying it to the real world in a way that I don't think we've seen before. So I'm really, you got to have those guys on the show.
No. I'll definitely be hitting you up here, I think, for an introduction to get these guys on the show and understand a bit more. I mean, now so let's talk a bit more about Ferrum. Let's talk about what you guys have been up to. I'm gonna say over the past year, but more so recently. I mean, we've had the release of the Unifier wallet, which clearly provides more utilities to Ferrum holders. So, I mean, let's talk a bit about Unifier. I mean, what's the latest with Unifier at the moment beyond just being a wallet? I'm sure there's more to it than that.
Oh, there's far more to it than that. I mean, when we decided to build a mobile non-custodial wallet, we knew that as a small project with sort of limited marketing budget as relative to, say Trust Wallet, which is, basically Binance. We needed to do something different. We needed to add real value. We needed to solve a real problem. And so we went to the drawing board and realized that something that you and I probably take for granted is impeding the mass adoption of cryptocurrencies in a way that I don't think people have really thought too much about. But I'm talking simply about sending crypto from one wallet to the next. Right? Normally you send, say you want to onboard a new person into the space. You have to convince them to download a wallet, locate their address, which is a random string of letters and numbers, send that to you, then you send them the crypto and you explain this process to them. And they'll probably ask, well, what happens if I, get the, what happens if I send the wrong address? What happens if one of these numbers is off, one of these letters is off? And you tell them, oh, well, then your money's gone forever.
Yeah, that's a really big turn off for a lot, actually. But you're right, though, right? No, you're right. It's
people too. I mean, this notion that if you make one mistake, it's gone forever. There's no takebacks, is jarring to many people.
I would say there's a certain level of tech savviness that you need to have if you're not using a wallet that you download. For example, MetaMask. Whilst it may be quite straightforward to you and I, it's an extension. We have our seed phrases, store that away on a piece of paper somewhere, don't put it on the cloud and, hope no one ever gets it. But once again, to that point, there is elements of, right, well, you need to get that humongous address to somebody. Certainly if somebody doesn't know how to use crypto, then you need to get that done, right? Then on top of that, gas fees, if you want to calculate, if they're failing for whatever reason or because Uniswap decided to drop a shit ton of tokens on everybody or the gas fees have gone sky high through the roof, right? And then, some people may need to go to F gas station and see what the best gas combination is, right? In order to get your transactions through. So you're right. I mean, to that extent, I think for your everyday user, using something like MetaMask isn't straightforward, albeit I have a great and amazing tutorial on my YouTube channel for those who do want to use it. Link somewhere here. But my point being is, you're right, it's not that straightforward. So certainly having wallets downloadable on your phone, that makes it straightforward to make these day-to-day transactions, I think certainly helps with the usage and adoption more than anything else. But
yeah, absolutely. Well, it goes far beyond the fact it's a mobile wallet to the fact that excuse me, someone just came into my video. We've actually innovated on the way that you send and receive cryptocurrencies. So, normally it's the process we just described. You send it to someone's wallet address, right? We've sort of removed a layer of complexity from this and built something that allows you to send crypto anywhere using just a link. So you can now, with our link drop technology, send crypto to anyone. They don't have to have a wallet address in advance at all. But you can send it to them over Twitter, Telegram, Facebook, WeChat, WhatsApp, on even email. And all they do is click the link. You get a notification as the sender that the recipient has accepted, and then the sender counter accepts by swiping, and that's when the crypto gets sent on chain. So there's two key things going on here that people should pick up on. One, you can now send crypto anywhere over any medium. I mean, that's a game changer in and of itself.
It is, of course.
And the second thing is, with this double confirmation process I just described, you as the sender now have peace of mind that you've in fact sent money to the right person. Right? So it's solving two massive problems that had previously been getting in the way of mass adoption. And I think people are picking up on this. We have close to 6,000 active users now, and it's just on the beta thus far. To be honest, so the wallet's not even complete. It's missing a number of things that we're building out. So the early response has been tremendous, and I really think that in a number of years this will be the gold standard of sending crypto using a link. It's far more easier. It's far more secure. Peace of mind, simple. Perfect for new people. And I mean, I'm out here evangelizing it and going around talking about this thing. I think it's just fantastic.
No, I mean, there's certainly less room for error, for sure. And I think that's the scariest part. As in, recently as a buddy of mine had taken part in a pre-sale for a given project. It doesn't really matter too much, but the issue is, if he's watching this, he'll know exactly who I'm talking about, and he does watch this, so he'll know. But I won't name any names. But it was something like, it was around $100,000 worth of tokens he was expecting to receive, and it was late at night, and he was just confirming it for receiving his pre-sale tokens, and he gave the wrong address, and it ended up in a smart contract for a completely different project, and they're gone. There's nothing he can do about it. There's nothing the project can do about it. They've tried to bring both teams together to try and have a look at it, and they're just there. It's in effect, it's burnt. It's just stuck there. They can't be sent out, and that sucks. So certainly, if what you've just described, where it's specific, Ian dot Ferrum, like for example, if that is the link, right, then it's going there, and that's it. It's not going anywhere else. And I think that's one of the biggest problems in this space, actually. And certainly, if that's where it's heading in terms of what you've described, and then I think you're right. It will be a massive game changer, because we need simplification in this space. It's long overdue, actually. I personally don't mind the complexities, just because naturally, what I do for a day job is all around cloud architecture, and I'm quite a technical person in general. So for me, I get it. But if I was to try and describe this to my dad, or my mum, for example, I just know I would have lost them at the very first part of the whole entire process. And I think that's what's heavily needed in our space now. I mean, Bitcoin's been around for years, but I mean, I kind of came into the scene back in 2017, like most of the others that I know. But one thing that I do know is that the UI and the UX experience that we get is actually quite poor across the board on most things when it comes to dealing with crypto back and forth. It kind of takes me on to another piece around the Unifier wallet, because you said there are other parts that you're working on. One of the things that I'm seeing a lot of projects doing also recently is staking. Staking, locking in users into the ecosystem. It's not just locking in, but there's obviously value add in terms of staking your tokens and being able to take part in governance and many other things around that. I mean, is that something that Unifier is looking to bring on board? I mean, staking around that, and what would be the implications around doing that?
Yeah, absolutely. So we launched a staking regime for the Ferrum token back in November 2019. As a matter of fact, we did it again in February, and we realized that this is something that projects, especially newer projects, could really benefit from, because yes, it does in fact lock tokens, which is an important, it can be an important part of a project's early stage strategy before they have technology or utility for their token. This is a way to sort of keep investors locked in, for lack of a better word. So it's we put it out onto the market, so to speak, just to see, would there be any interest from other projects that might want to, use this tech. And the response has been just tremendous. It's been overwhelming, the number of projects that have signed up, that have reached out, that have shown interest in this, and that we have in fact launched the staking for. We now have about probably over 20, maybe 25 projects that have signed up.
Wow.
For the staking technology. We've launched it.
Staking as a service business, then you pretty much got right here then.
Yeah, it's something we sort of stumbled upon, but the staking as a service business is by far the most lucrative thing we've done. And we have an exchange business in Africa. Okay. That we've had for over a year now, and the staking as a service has really just taken off. It's been incredible working with these different teams, getting to cross market with their communities, and then providing them beneficial technology. It's been a great pleasure of mine these past. This has only happened for the last 6 weeks or 2 months where it's really taken off. But every day new projects reach out to us, and now it's gotten to the point where they reach out. They already have their structure, their APRs, they have the names of their staking portal already. They just hand me it. They're like, this is what we want. And we spin it up for them. So it's been awesome. But we're actually now building out an advanced version of our staking, which is going to take it to the next level. And it's something we've sort of been keeping close to the chest, because it's not quite ready yet. But people keep asking when Ferrum staking. Well, one reason why we've sort of not, we've launched other projects staking in the past few months. We haven't done another round for Ferrum, and well, this is why we're building a more advanced version that's going to be even better. So I'm just excited for these next few months hold when it comes to the staking.
I'm looking forward to seeing that. Actually, I'll certainly watch the announcements channels on Ferrum and see where that leads to. So, I mean, what's next for Ferrum, Ian? I mean, what is on your roadmap? I'm curious to see what we should be excited about. We've spoken about quite a few things today, actually, to be honest. It's a fair bit to take in all in one go, from launching the Foundry to incubation to and certainly your staking as a service business as well, which I think is it's important from an aspect that it's not just. I think you touched on it earlier. Is that it's, forget the word lucrative, but it's a business. This is the thing, right? It's not just a project that's launched. It's a coin that's accruing value through speculation. There is business applications behind it. There are other projects leveraging what you've built, what you know, in order to be successful at the same time, right? Which I think is it's important because there's not a lot of that happening in this space. Maybe I haven't dug deep enough, but certainly from what I can see, from the surface, there isn't a lot of reuse of technology going on. I see a lot of people reinventing the wheel a lot. And certainly in this DeFi cycle, I'm seeing quite a lot of the old 2017 projects also being reinvented with the word DeFi at the end of it. But there isn't a need to do that, certainly, as there are plenty of successful projects out there who have already done that and can leverage from yourselves as well. But what's next? What's next for Ferrum? Then I'm actually excited to try and see what's coming down your roadmap. Really, what should people be excited for?
Yeah, so I'm glad you touched on that. I think that is one thing that separates Ferrum from many other projects is the fact there is a real business, multiple businesses behind it, multiple lines of revenue behind it. But I will add that almost the entirety of what we earn from the staking business is actually just spent buying back Ferrum off the secondary market. Because one thing we always try to do is imbue our products and our technology with some sort of Ferrum utility. And one thing we thought about doing is, okay, if the staking is a business, staking as a service taking off, well, what if we made the stakers themselves stake Ferrum or pay in Ferrum to access the staking of other projects? Well, do you really want to add a friction? Do you want to impose that on an end user who may not, someone might be staking only $50 worth?
Yeah.
It's fair to them. And not to mention there would be additional technical development behind that would delay what we're doing. So we thought, why not just, we'll charge the projects for the technology. It's valuable technology. The ROI is tremendous, I think, when you look at it from a technology standpoint, marketing standpoint, a partnership standpoint, all of it. So let's charge them, but let's use that money to we'll just buy back Ferrum and we'll hold it, and we might do something really creative with it soon. Who knows? Hint, hint. So,
that's right. I'm reading between the lines.
So that is important to understand. It's a business, but it also helps the Ferrum holders because we have an obligation to them. What I'm excited about coming down the pipeline? Well, I mean, there's of course so much going on as always.
Yeah.
One of the things I'm quite excited about is the advanced sort of staking 2.0 that'll be coming out quite soon. So that's going to be launched in the near future. But looking ahead a little bit, there is a big problem that we're solving with one of our upcoming features in the Unifier wallet that's in fact already been launched in a sense, at least the precursor technology, but its full capabilities will be revealed soon, hopefully by the end of the year, if not early 2021. And the problem I'm talking about is the fact that it is so challenging for new people and experienced to buy and sell altcoins. Period. It's just hard. It's just I should add with fiat.
Yes. Okay. All right. Okay.
Yeah. It's easy once you have the crypto.
You
could argue now with Uniswap, but getting fiat into the ecosystem to buy an altcoin is a process.
It is,
right?
It is.
You have to go through centralized exchange for the most part. You have to incur pretty significant fees depending on which exchange you're using. You have to sign up for multiple exchanges, which I think is a deterrent to a lot of people. I know a lot of my friends who they'll only buy tokens on Coinbase because they don't want to go through the hassle of creating an account elsewhere. Especially true if you're in the States where a lot of the exchanges are just blocked.
It's interesting you say that because, and I was speaking about this the other day to another project actually that were looking to bring fiat into crypto, and certainly back in 2017, I think one of my frustrations was how how it wasn't even a straightforward route just to kind of get fiat into crypto, because I wanted to buy, my first couple of Bitcoins back in 2017. I wish I'd held on to them, but I didn't. They just kind of materialized into altcoins and various bits and left with less value, as is the way. But saying that, it wasn't straightforward, because I remember I was researching which exchange do I use, first of all, because I wasn't really familiar with all the exchanges and who should I exchange into. And then for me, my choice was Kraken, purely because I'm in Europe, and Kraken was the main European exchange to use for Bitcoin back then. But then, interestingly enough, they didn't take sterling at that point. It was only euros, and I don't have euros in my bank account. I'm in England, so we use sterling. So then I had to go and open up a euro account with my bank, which they did offer, but I was like, but why am I doing this? Then I had to take my sterling into euros. So now I've already lost value on the exchange, on the exchange rate, and a bit of commission on top. So I'm like, okay, great. Then I had to transfer those euros into a SEPA account or a SEPA payment into Kraken, and then they had to do some sort of back and forth with me to kind of validate the payments from me, and it was just a pain in the ass just to get from there to there. And in all honesty, Ian, whether anyone believes me or not, I have never since then put an additional penny into crypto from fiat. So I'm still running, my bags, and I'm still holding as well from 2017, and I've done well. I'm not a master trader, but I do simple trades here and there, and I've done a few pre-sales here and there in order to grow my base currencies, so to speak. But one thing I have said is that I'm not putting another penny into crypto, purely because I don't think it's straightforward to do, and it's just a pain in the ass, and I just don't like losing value along the way, because I have 10,000 and I want to buy 10,000. It's not I have 10,000 and then by the time I actually buy, whether it's Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever it may be, it's 9,700's worth. So I've lost £300 in between that process, and it's a pain. It's a pain. It needs to be solved.
It's a massive pain, and you didn't even get into the selling part, because by the way, you're going to eventually want to sell your altcoins for fiat, because until your landlord or your bank accepts crypto, for your mortgage payment, you have to get fiat eventually, right?
Yes.
And so Ferrum is all about solving these fundamental problems. We solved the problem of sending crypto and it being too complicated. Now we want to solve the problem of buying and selling crypto with fiat, specifically for altcoins, by the way. And so what we're doing is building a platform that is akin to local Bitcoins, which you may be familiar with.
Yes,
for Bitcoin, and it's essentially a means of buying Bitcoin peer-to-peer with fiat. But taking that model and applying it to altcoins, ERC20s, and removing the escrow layer from that transaction, because local Bitcoins actually has an escrow component. Mm-hmm. So what we're building, and we've already built the precursor technology to this, which we call swap drops, which is essentially I call it a risk-free OTC transaction embedded in a shareable link.
Okay.
And basically what that means is it's an atomic swap type smart contract, mm-hmm. where basically two people can enter into a transaction that will automatically go through once both sides have basically signed mm-hmm. it. So we're taking this core swap technology and incorporating fiat into it. So you'll actually be able to swap, sterlings.
Yes, thank
We're not going to leave you guys out.
That's going to say.
Because ultimately it's what the buyer and seller have. You have $10,000 USDT, and he has $10,000 worth of sterling. You guys enter into a risk-free OTC transaction, and a swap happens. Yeah. Right, and so it'll work for any ERC20 token. So this to me is another potential huge game changer for I think the entire industry, because you hit the nail on the head. Getting into crypto with fiat is a pain. Getting out is probably even more of a pain.
I'd say so. And
I think the industry is begging for a solution to this problem, but no one to my knowledge has solved it yet. So we're building this out slowly but surely. We've other things in the pipeline that we're working on, but we will launch this peer-to-peer altcoin fiat trading platform hopefully by end of this year, if not early next. It's going to go in phases. It's not going to be the full blown platform,
naturally, yeah,
at first, but it's going to sort of go in phases. In fact, phase one is already done, I would argue, in the fact that we launched swap drops, which is the core sort of smart contract technology that powers this. But yeah, I think it's going to be huge.
I'm looking forward to it. I am looking forward to it for many reasons, to be honest. Because one of the things I've noticed is, that there are those who I'm an accumulator, and most of my base currency is either in Bitcoin or Ethereum. That's kind of where I have it, and I do have various alts. And one thing that really appeals to me currently, certainly in DeFi at the moment, is the APY that you get for staking, ultimately, or being a liquidity provider. But what I don't want to do is convert my Bitcoin or convert my Ethereum into a stablecoin in order to do that, because I don't want to lose value. But if there was an easy way for me to just bring in 10,000 sterling in stablecoin and then be able to stake that wherever I may want to stake it and take the yield from that, that would be really appealing to me. Because at the moment, I think even in the UK, I think the best, currently as it stands, the best savings rate you can get where you have access to your money within 24 hours should you need it for something is 1.16%. And that's nothing. It's not even worth the effort of putting your, unless you got a lot of capital, which will then generate you something, but still not a lot. If there's an opportunity where we can be able to easily circumvent some of that and take some of your fiat and be able to do that and get those yields and then take it back out in stable coins, then great, because a lot of the people are in it for the long haul as well, in terms of those who are hodling for those potential gains on, and I'm only really talking about Ethereum and Bitcoin from my own personal perspective, without having to worry about, if I exchange it into stablecoin today and the market tanks a bit, am I going to get less or am I going to get more back? And then suddenly my F-stacks reduce from where I had it from. So that's something I'm certainly going to be looking forward to and eagerly awaiting, I suppose I would say, Ian, because I think that is a game changer in its own right.
Thank you. I think so. I think that's been one of the missing pieces from the DeFi revolution, whatever you want to call this. We're all able to make tremendous returns essentially from this yield farming and the other staking mechanisms that DeFi has brought to us, and that's great. But no one has solved the problem of getting it back out to fiat. Yeah. So that's what we're solving. It's been a problem since we started Ferrum back in 2018. It's still a problem. So it seems no one's solving it. So here we are.
Well, Ian, look, thank you so much for your time today, and certainly going through everything from the Foundry through to Ferrum. There's a lot of stuff coming, and certainly I think my closing statement is going to be, where do people go to stay up to date? What channel should we be hooked into?
Yeah, so you can follow us on Twitter at Ferrum Network. You can go to our Telegram, Ferrum Network Official. Our announcement channel is extremely active. I think we make 2 or 3 announcements a day at this point, just because of the sheer number of staking projects that are signing on for our staking. And you can also find me on Telegram at any point. I'm on there all the time. You can find me, ask me questions. Happy to talk to folks in PM. And yeah, we're excited to be a part of this crazy crypto journey, and hopefully we're solving some problems along the way.
Definitely. And well, look, once again, thanks, man. Really appreciate the time. And look, let's catch up in a few months' time, and see where your roadmap leads us. Certainly looking forward to what's to come.
We'd love to, Faraz. Let me know when you want me on. I'll be here.
Cheers, Ian. Thanks a lot. Speak to you later. And that was Ian taking us through the Foundry and also Ferrum Network. It's really interesting to see how they both tie in together, how I suppose Ian is using the success of Ferrum Network in order to incubate other projects within the crypto space, and it'll be interesting to check out how Bondly does as well. So stay tuned for future updates. Hopefully we'll get Bondly on the channel and understand what it is that they're looking to do. Now, in terms of the competition, same as always, don't forget to like the channel, don't forget to subscribe, and also leave a comment below. Let me know what your thoughts are around the Foundry, around the pre-sale investor network. Do you agree with what they're doing? What do you like? What do you dislike? Drop it in the comments below. I'll pick a random winner in about 10 days, and that's it. See you on the next one.